obviously a pretty exciting week for you. The last I saw of you, I was on a touchline giving Ashley Cole some instructions about where he needs to be on the pitch.
I was asking him how he turned his iPad on. Wasn't even on properly. No, I mean, we had a great night, obviously at Leeds the other night, and we were through the playoff final. Of course, we've not got to the Premier League yet, but it's a big step, obviously, in the right direction, and got a huge final against Aston Villa on the 27th now. So, but the other night was a special night for all of us, players and staff, and we enjoyed it after the game, of course, and now we have to get focused on the final.
Yeah, Shay, how difficult is that, or was that as well, to try to curtail those celebrations? Because as I said, there's nothing been achieved just yet, has it?
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, you have to enjoy the moment, as in, it was such a big game. The pressure was high, as you can imagine, and of course we were 1-0 down from the first leg, and a lot of people wrote us off, and then they scored the first goal as well. So then, probably even more so, wrote us off. But I think the character and the the spirit that this team showed was absolutely brilliant. They stuck to the game plan and the work rate and all the game plan and everything just come together. And I think on the night we deserved to go to the final. But after the game, we celebrated in a sense, but we knew we hadn't qualified. But at the same time, we felt it was right to enjoy the moment, the same as Aston Villa did the night before. You have to enjoy that moment of us getting to Wembley and getting to, they call this was the richest game in football, the playoff final, and we're looking forward to it.
Shay, you seem to be absolutely loving the role there at Derby at the moment. How steep a learning curve, though, has it been for you over the past few months?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's, Kevin's done a bit of coaching before in the past. I mean, it's quite time consuming because, obviously doing media stuff the year before when it finished playing and stuff, and, we're doing, like Kev's got an easy life there, a couple of days a week, and he's got his feet up the rest of the time. But, the coaching thing is, I love to hear him there 7 days a week at times, and it's, it can be hard on family life and seeing the kids and just balancing life up with that. But when hopefully we get to the Premier League at the end of it, then every single getting up at 6:30 every morning to go to Derby will be worth every single mile we've covered this year. And that's the aim. That that you can't really replace that buzz like the other night. The excitement we got after the game and the togetherness in the change room after, it was just special. It was just a special feeling. And it's great to sort of. You thought them days were over when you finished playing, but it's the closest you're going to get to playing, of course, when you get that togetherness after the game.
I wondered about that togetherness, and just because it looked like, sort of Kev was saying, that it was almost as if watching the celebrations afterwards you had secured the promotion. And I wonder, given everything that went into that game, Shay, the Spygate stuff, the fallout from it, the couple of defeats to Leeds, the number of goals I suppose that were shipped, the bit of criticism I suppose from the fans of Frank Lampard after that first leg as well, or certainly the singing that was gone on afterwards. How much was all that spoken about in the lead into that game?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, because the game's so big, then you don't really have to speak that much about it in the sense what Leeds fans are singing and what people are saying and what, we actually sort of kept our heads down after the first leg and says, right, we have to change how we play. We have to do something different, and then we have to, because, Bielsa is a fantastic manager. He's Pep Guardiola is the best guy he's ever worked under. He's one of the cleverest guys in football, and his systems and how he presses and how he plays with the ball is very difficult to play against at times, and we felt we needed an extra man in midfield, and we did that, and we felt that the lads got the system in a couple of days, and we went out there and we done it, and it's easier said than done. And we knew that the first leg we were disappointed, especially at home, not to even cause some problems with their goalkeeper, but I think the players reacted to us. The final is a totally different thing. Now we've got to go, obviously, clear heads again now, get back to a week leading up to the game, whatever we've still got 10 days, whatever it is, 9 days, the week on Monday, the game. So we've got a lot of preparation time. Now we have to forget about what happened the other night and really get focused for Aston Villa, which we know, as we played them twice this year, we've lost twice against them. We know it's a hugely tough game as well.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable turnaround, because watching the first game, Shay, Leeds was so dominant. Leeds played so well in that first leg, and in fairness, I was thinking you're going to have to do an incredible turnaround. I know you said you put an extra man in midfield, but what was the talk into the game? Because you looked to me like you were a little bit more counter-attacking, and you carried that threat really well on the counter-attack. Was that the mindset going into that game? We might have to sit off a little bit more rather than go and press them.
Well, a bit of both, Kev. I thought, when they scored Leeds the other night, I thought it was a little bit against the run of play. Not that we were battering their team, but we actually started. I didn't think we started that bad, and then they scored a goal from a wide free kick, and you think, oh my goodness, it's not.
No, I'm talking about the first leg. From the first leg, Shay, from the first game, they were so dominant in that first leg, and you say you had to change things around, and that was the thing. Yeah,
we didn't really say we're going to go to the Helen Road and do a counter attack job. We were actually we put a diamond in midfield and we changed it to 2 up top. I think it was, rather we got a bit more support to the front man, whereas at home we had a lone striker and difficult to get bodies up to him because, as you know, Leeds are such a high pressing team. They don't let you breathe on the ball for a second, and it was just, I don't know, we just I think we get that extra body in midfield, Kevin. We managed to get more possession and get more ball time and stuff. If you can do that and have a bit of composure on the ball when you do get it, then you can hurt Leeds because they do such a high press and they leave gaps in other areas of the pitch that you can exploit.
What was it like for you in the dugout, Shay? Like, what's your role when all that's unfolding?
Just keep it calm. I'm nice and relaxed on the bench, hopefully, as you can see.
keep the steak coming, is what you're saying.
You know what, though, Shay? How difficult was it to remain calm? Because the game, he had so many bookings in the first half an hour of the game. It was one of the most intense games you're ever likely to see. If anyone missed it, it was the most incredible game of football. How were you managed to keep the players calm through that atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because when we come out, Kev, it was some of the best atmosphere to be at. I don't know, the Ellen Road was absolutely bouncing. They all had the white scarves and they were all, twirling them and stuff. And you give the Leeds fans great credit for that because they were actually making some noise. And once the players come out the tunnel, they knew like what they were facing against. Obviously, a great team on the pitch, but the fans were right behind them as well. And we knew we had to stick to the game plan. We had to focus on what we worked on over the period of the last few days after the first leg, and stick to the plan and believe in what we're doing. And we did that. We got back into the game just before half time, and that came in the change room then at half time, and we thought, right, here we go. If we can get the next one, then we've got a great chance. And it just went from there, Kev. I mean, they made a couple of mistakes for the goals and stuff, but that comes from us pressing and ratting and harassing their defenders and goalkeeper and stuff, and we got our rewards.
Shay, can you talk to us about just how big Frank Lampard's ambitions are as a manager?
Yeah, hugely big. I mean, you've seen his reaction after the game the other night, I'm sure, and that's just a snippet and of what Frank's like. He's very hungry to be the similar was the best midfielder he could be. He's the exact same as a manager. He wants to be the best manager he can be, one of the best managers in the world. Probably he's probably got ambitions for that. But a step by step, of course, he knows it's not as easy said than done. If we got the Premier League, then that would be fantastic, of course. But Frank wants to go, I'm sure, as far as he can.
And then by extension, has that had a rub-off effect on you? Is his ambition and his energy infectious almost around the entire backroom staff?
Yeah, definitely. We're kind of teaming ourselves away from the sort of playing staff. You kind of have a team as in staff, and of course it rubs off. Frank Lampard is one of the greats of football, and even to get the phone call last summer to say, "Do you want to come and be part of it?" Then was fantastic for me, and of course I'm still learning. I'm still learning from the coaching point of view, but we're learning pretty fast, and it's nice to be part of.
Yeah, and it makes things easier as well when things are going well, and hopefully they'll get even better again next week. Are you fully addicted now? Has the coaching bug fully set in?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I played one game of golf in the whole year, so that's not been great for me golf swing, to be honest. But as I say, it takes up a lot of your time, But if we can get the rewards of the Premier League, as I said at the start, if we get the rewards of getting the Premier League and next Monday, then that every single day will be worth it. Of course it would, and you definitely got the bug then because you've achieved something at the end of the season.
How's the groins and the quads and the hamstrings with all that ball striking?
Not too bad. I mean, he's about to fall apart, but the rest of me's are. Well, yeah, you get used to it, I suppose. But it's just the old knee. I had about 4 operations in my right knee, so it's got some sellotape on that at the minute. But apart from that, the rest of the body's holding up all right.
It must be remarkable, Shay, to actually think back at, say, your first encounter with a goalkeeping coach when you were a goalkeeper, and not only how the role has changed between now and the end of your playing career, but how even in the last 2 or 3 years the role of the goalkeeper has changed, and I presume how the goalkeeping coach's role has changed. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely different. When I started off at Glasgow Celtic, we had Joe Corrigan who came in 1 day a week on a Thursday to put us through our paces one morning. So it was like every football club or top clubs now, all of the goalkeeping coaches, as you say, I think the role of the goalkeeper has changed, quite dramatically in the last few years. And, ourselves at Derby, we like to play from the back as well. And the goalkeeper's a big part of that. And just go in the corner and kick balls at them. We have to be involved with the team and playing out against, for example, Leeds United, who press you high whenever the ball goes back to the goalkeepers. We've got to get options for the goalkeeper from your defenders. And, of course, maybe your number 6 from midfield dropping in as well. So there's all that to come into play. It's not just you go off in the corner and then we'll see you in an hour's time and join with the first team. You've got to integrate all that, and the goalkeeper is a big part of how we want to play.
Yeah, like I was about to say, I presume the training is no longer the segregated thing of the lads going off to the corner and not getting involved in anything else. I presume
should be that way, yeah. But anyway.
You'd be lost about us goalkeepers, Kevin. You'd be lost on. No, I mean it is. You still have to warm up, of course, do the goalkeeping stuff. You have to not forget that you have to keep the ball in the net, and obviously you got to do the sort of basic stuff to warming up. But yeah, there's a lot more stuff involved with the team and stuff, and you know, Frank's been good with that sense as well. You know, working with the goalkeepers as well, and the back four, and as I say, looking at the players from the back, and of course defending as well, which is hugely important.
The Shay Given Derby, they're calling it.
Yeah, never mind Terry Lampard. We got the real man.
You guys in the studio, just
yeah, absolutely. You heard it here first.
The red velvet cake and the Shay Given Derby.
How much are you looking forward to it? And I mean, like we mentioned the Leeds results during the week, during the year. They haven't been something similar against Villa as well. So
yeah.
How much are you looking forward to try and get stuck into that and reverse that?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be very tough. You know, we've lost both games home and away to Villa, and they've been very strong. And as I said, we have to get back to probably where we were the other night, and to have any chance of getting through, and you know, hopefully some of the Villa players have a little bit of an off day. But it's a one-off game. It's a cup final. It's a massive game, and you know, even talking about it, sort of the hairs are standing up in the back of my neck already. And it's whatever 10 days away. So it's, you know, come kick-off time, we will be ready, and you know, the Derby fans will be right behind us as well. And you know, Derby, Wembley, I've been there, you know, as a player, and the last time actually was in cup final for Aston Villa, would you believe? So this is going to be very, very special. You know, as a coach, if we can get it done, it'll be super. I mean, just, you know, hard to think that way at the minute because we've got a lot of planning to do and training and preparation. But you know, we've given ourselves a chance.
Quick one before we leave you. Kevin has chosen his Premier League team of the decade a little bit earlier. There wasn't a huge amount of debate about the goalkeeping position, that David De Gea was kind of the standalone and not really anybody over the last decade comes close. Do you go with that?
Yeah, I mean, probably for consistency levels, yes, he struggled a bit this season and had a bit of a bad couple of months or whatever. But if you look at the course of the 10 years or whatever, he's not been here 10 years, but the course of the last decade, I don't think any other goalkeeper stands out like he's done over them seasons, and you know, he's gone through a bit of a bad patch, and that's because maybe his contract's coming to an end, or he wants to leave the club, or there's lots of other things that goes on that people maybe, you know, won't understand when it comes to goalkeepers. I suppose people don't understand it at the best of times, but you know, he has gone through a dip in form, and but if you look at the course of season after season after season, I mean, I think he won the Man United Player of the Season 4 years on the bounce or something, so he's been a fantastic goalkeeper for the Premier League. The
position that's probably created most debate over the last while, that he's copping most heat about, Shay, has been his selection at right back. The position that's caused most debate this morning, is getting most slack from our viewers has been his right back selection of Seamus Coleman. Has he been the best right back in the Premier League for you over the last 10 years?
Seamus would definitely be up there. I mean, he's season after season, of course, he's fellow Donegal man, so why would I say anything different?
There you go, Shay.
Well, give us your non-biased opinion, Jay, is what we're looking for here.
what were the options? Because you just threw this up.
You got Zabaleta, Kyle Walker, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Kyle Walker's been phenomenal as well for Manchester City, and of course before for Tottenham.
Azpilicueta, I think, as well.
Huh?
Azpilicueta, I think, as well.
Yeah. Azpilicueta, yeah. Let's stick with Coleman then, so.
There we go. That's a good football man for you.
All you're going to say, guys, from Donegal, he's one of our own and all that, of course. But at the same time, you have to look at Seamus' career, and he's done brilliant. You know, he's captain Everton, captain Ireland, and that's for a reason, because he's so consistent for Everton, and he's you know, it's maybe similar to Dennis Irwin. You know, every time Seamus plays, it's a 7 or 8 out of a 10, and you know, that's a great trait to have.
Shay, the last thing I wanted to ask you while we have you on the line is just about the spectrum of Irish goalkeepers we have at the moment, between the likes of Caoimhín Kelleher and Gavin Bazunu, and of course over the last couple of weeks Mark Travers getting a couple of starts with Bournemouth. What level can these guys get to? Well,
they can go all the way. I mean, of course they can. They've got, you know, big futures ahead of them, and you know, that's what we want. We always say, you know, we in Kevin, whoever, we always say with the next sort of breed of outfield players coming through, but at the same time we need the goalkeepers to come through as well, and the 3 guys you mentioned have got big futures ahead of them. You know, people I speak to, Alan Kelly, who's worked with some of them, he raves about them, you know, and you just hope they keep improving, keep getting game time. Of course, that's the big thing. If they get game time and experience, there's nothing like playing football, and you know, I don't mean under 23s, I mean in first team football and gaining that experience, and there's no reason why they can't go all the way.
Great stuff, Shay. Thanks a million.
Thanks, Shay.
All right, cheers, lads.